Yeah, like at midfield, just go right now. Go to camera 3. 3, go to the gate, perfect, just like that.
I'll just go ahead.
Yep, graphics 2 is going to be up for the first game. Go right now. Go to camera 3. Go, yep, go to the gate, perfect, just like that. No music. I'm going to hand to Q, Sophie. Wait for it.
On radio in the Canal Zone.
All right, guys, mic check.
Go ready.
Okay, Ricky, mic.
Yep, I am ready.
Wait for it.
Willie, mic check.
Yep, let's go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
5,
4, 3, 2, 1, and
Okay, and go for it.
¡Lo va a pitar aquí! ¡Que lo va a pitar aquí! ¡Lo va a pitar aquí! Almost we're going to hear that repeat of last week, the World Cup announcement. That's coming up next week. We'll have some good World Cup news. But anyhow, it is Friday night. It is actually 8:03, a little behind schedule here, but 8:03 Eastern Time, 5:03 Pacific Time, and 8:03 Canal Zone Time. Ricky, it's happy hour at the Balboa Yacht Club, man. Get the weekend started for us.
It is. And it's a cold night tonight in the West Coast. As you guys know, I'm Ricky Royo from the Panama Canal Zone. And right here next to me is Willie Benningoff, also from the Canal Zone. And welcome to everyone to SCN Canal Zone Happy Hour at the Balboa Yacht Club. It's where we're out right now. It's a weekly podcast that talks about the Panama Canal, its history, which we do a show once a month, the first show of the month. It's about its towns and it's about its people. It's about its traditions. And its people, we're also known as Zonians. I mean, we're known worldwide as the Zonians now, and we do call ourselves Zonians for Canal Zone. Or, as all Shorty and Slim fans like to say, mango heads. Anyways, Willie, let's prepare our drinks and let's toast to this eighth wonder of the world. Salute to everybody.
Salute to everybody. Happy
let's
Friday.
Get this show started.
And happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Only a day separated from that. Very thankful to have you guys all joining us. Always very thankful to our sponsors, Howler Monkey Sauce, Texas Coin, and those guys. And very thankful, of course, just to be a Zonian and have the opportunity to talk about sharing this wonderful life.
Correct.
So, salute to everybody.
Salute to everybody. Yes.
So, we got a good show. It's end of the month. You know, we normally do a kind of a synopsis of the month. It's going to be a little bit different this month. We've, with the holidays and stuff, we've been busy taking care of other things. And so we are going to chat a little bit about them, but tonight's show will be a little bit short. I know people were out probably maybe doing some Black Friday shopping, although I think most of us at this point are done with that. But nonetheless, it will be kind of a short show here. Over the next month, it's probably going to be that way. With the holidays, things get a little wonky here and there. So a couple of different schedule changes and whatnot, and then get ourselves ready to go for the Canal Zone reunion coming in January. So we have some stuff to talk about there later on in our segment there. In fact, let's go ahead and just kick that off and get moving on some announcements and stuff, and then just kick things right along here.
SCN Television presents Que Pasa. And now here's this evening's host, Army Sergeant Bob Foster.
Good evening and welcome to Que Pasa. We've got two guests tonight. First Sergeant First Class Jim Webb. Sergeant Webb's with the 227th Military Police Detachment. He's the kennel man.
That's an iconic tune there. Obviously, it's not
Iconic,
Sergeant whatever Webb
it.
there, but it was, even when you saw it on the TV schedule on the Spillway, Que Pasa was on the schedule, but it was 5 minutes. I mean, honestly, it really was a very short segment.
Right, it was. And then, when we do our research, in the 70s, they had, like 75, I think, or 76, we saw that they had Que Pasa. So it's been around for a while. It's on, that's why it's on our show, an iconic Canal Zone.
And it's always to throw announcements out and what's going on, because there's a lot of things going on in the Zonian community that we want to keep.
Being that it's the holidays, we're not going to be getting into any bochinche news. So we're just got a bunch of good stuff to announce you guys. Like, for example, right now, as we speak, Shorty and Slim over at Magoo's. So all you folks in Panama, head over to, after our show, of course, head over to Magoo's, and Shorty and Slimmers has a new release album Party. Now, Willie, the album's called CCEUM for like museum. So it's Cesium or Canal Zone Uem. Hard, I don't know how to. We're gonna have to get Alex on to talk about that title of his album. But they have a new album that just came out. It's being, like I said, the party's tonight over at Magoo's in Cardenas, over by the railroad station, over by a four-way light.
Cardenas, Cardenas, past the cemetery, up over the rise. Cardenas, Cardenas, when you reach the top, you go and see paradise. Here it is.
There you go, guys. Sorry,
Well,
that was kind of
6
impromptu.
PM, you know, so it's probably, that party's
probably over
probably
now.
at 6 tonight. Yeah, so maybe they're all watching. But anyways, if you guys did watch it, let us know.
Yeah, so if you haven't gone and you're going now based on this ad, you're going to be a little bit late. Sorry to tell you, but nonetheless, congrats again to Shorty and Slim on releasing a new extended play.
I
Good
know.
for them.
How many
30
albums now?
years, man. That's
30
guys are-
years, right? Like 15,
Yeah.
16 albums. Right on.
Absolutely. No,
Hey,
you
we
know,
got
it's going to
another-
be, sorry, real quick to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
it's going to be a music-filled
Hey.
night here. Mark's getting on a plane here in a bit, but listen until then. All right, give me a heads up how much time you have before departure, because we may just move things up here so you can enjoy the world premiere of Christmas on the Isthmus. Going to be an exciting tune there.
Zonian Christmas.
Yes, been working diligently on that. So, but let's throw some hellos out there real quick, Rick.
Oh,
and then
yeah,
you can
for sure.
put on your,
Hello, Miss
announcements here.
Sherry. That's a beautiful picture, by the way, Miss Sherry.
Yes, absolutely. Happy Friday, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Yes, absolutely. Sherry's out back. They're back on the road again, I believe, doing their
Why not?
tour of America and all that good stuff. And of course, she celebrated her birthday last week, which again, Ricky, we mentioned we are going to bring that back beginning of the year. We're going to do
By
something
popular
with birthdays.
demand.
And we'll try and set something up. Maybe put a form out there with a link that you can fill it out. Throw when your birthday is, maybe your emails. Because we are going to do a newsletter. We're going to work with Shane over at Canal Zone Documentary and get a Thane. Sorry, Shane. I said Shane Thane, and get a kind of like a membership thing going here. But nonetheless, all that's coming up next year. So anyhow,
Yeah, but
Sheila,
we'll have a
good to see you.
QR code, right, Willie, where people can just
Yeah,
put their
QR code you
phones
can scan or just go
and you
type
can
it
put
out
your,
there. And,
your birthday on it, and then that way we can celebrate you guys, which we're going back to that all 2026. We'll be celebrating all our Zonian
yeah, we'll do it just
birthdays.
once a month, though, not every week. Just once a month, we'll throw them
Yeah,
out.
once
Either
a
we'll
month.
read
The
them all or
last
just have them
Friday.
scrolling on a ticker or something, to
the
to
last
celebrate.
Friday.
Also on there, we're going to ask for nicknames. Sometimes people pop in and they've got nicknames and we're not always familiar with who it is we're speaking to. We're starting to learn a few of them, but things like that just to kind of get to know each other. As a big happy family here. Maisie, good to see you. You're calling in from Hickory,
Hi,
North Carolina.
Sheila.
Right on, Ron Abuelo.
Hey,
absolutely.
Maisie.
Yes,
Right
salute to
on,
you.
man. A good crowd again tonight, Willie. We love it, man. This
Yep,
is
got
why
my-
we're here every
Got a
Friday.
bottle
man.
right there stacked, my Rona Abuelo. And of course, on the other side of the bar, there is our jar of bottle of Monkey Howler hot sauce, which we're going to debut a new commercial for them this evening as well. But
Willie's been
speaking of
busy.
debuts and speaking of music and everything, Mark, we're going to go ahead and put that out there. He'll be arriving at the airport in a few minutes, and I have all the security in the bag. Well, listen, you just give them a hard time. They'll delay the flight, and then you bust out the Wi-Fi real quick.
No,
and
not
the flight,
nowadays.
and then
They'll
you'll
put
be-
them on the list.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, don't blame me. Blame Ricky for that.
Hey, Vern.
Good to see you, Vern. Happy Thanksgiving to you, brother. Up in the Great White North up there in Green Bay. By the way, did you see that the Eagles lost to the Bears today?
These Bears are good, man.
Yeah, they are
They're
actually pretty
really
good. They started out really poor, but they've actually put it in gear quickly. Gone on well there. Jim and Diane, good to see you guys. Good evening. We hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Yes. Well, we tried not to eat too much. What I did is I paced myself. I did it very similar to back in the day when you went to the Officers Club on Sundays for that Sunday brunch, right? You paid for a good 2 or 3 hours worth of food, so you pace yourself, man. You didn't load up that plate. It was all you can eat,
Yeah,
man. So
I
just
agree.
put a
I
little
agree.
bit, eat, hang out, chit chat for a while, run around, go get another plate, and yeah, that's the way you do that, man. You don't load all the way up at one time there. So
Yeah, it's definitely a 2 hours of eating.
yeah,
Hello,
no,
Mr.
without a
Matthew.
doubt. Yeah, Matt Flores, hey, good to see you, man. Howdy. Where are you calling in from, or where are you hanging out these days, Matt? But good to see you. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. So anyhow, Ricky, what else have we got as far as announcements?
Well, we got some intel from Alex Reyes about the Canal Zone reunion, and guys, it's starting to pack up. Get ready. Almost all the events are sold out, but there's a few events still available. I mean, it's not completely sold out. For example, on Thursday, guys, the Panama Canal partial transit northbound. There's tickets available for that, and you don't want to miss that. The boat that gets you across. There we go. The things in yellow. Plenty tickets available that you guys can see, but there are some sold out events. The northbound, we got about 45 tickets available. Also, the Panama Pacifico Tour, which is Howard. About 25 tickets still available for that, and that's also on Thursday. And Al Sprague, the Al Sprague Art Tour.
Right. Yeah,
there's a couple of seats, about 14 seats available for that. And don't forget, December 4th, Al Sprague's also doing a thing in Panama called at 7 p.m. in Te Café in Calle 47 Este, which we'll look at it in the map later, little later.
Yeah, and don't forget, guys, canalzonereunion.com. You can find all of that information on there as well.
Correct. So that's Thursday. So there's some good events available on Thursday. Friday, Museo del Canal tour is available. And listen to this. It's at 1 p.m. You're going to learn everything there is to know about geisha coffee. Remember, geisha, $32,000 a kilo. So it's a good time to go there, check out the Museo del Canal, which, by the way, there's a lot of
pretty soon you're going to be fearing the coffee cartels more than the cocaine cartels.
Yeah. And there's tickets available for that on Friday. And, of course, because there's so many, the Chiva rides. And the Chiva rides, guys, they take off from the Elks Club, which Willie will be transmitting live from there. 7:30 is when the buses start leaving from there. So right around the time that we're doing our show, there's going to be rides, but they're going to be coming and going because that's where the event is Thursday night. Oh, no, that's Friday night.
Yeah. How about that, Coach? Right? Matt Powell popping in there? Yeah.
Keith Jordan, right on, man. Keith. And then listen to this, Willie. I'm telling you guys, this is something that I'm starting to pay attention, and the numbers are big. Where you want to be on Sunday is Taboga. That is sold out, but you want to get there. You got to figure out how to get there and get her because that's where the party is going to be Sunday. The big party, the big pool party is Saturday. And they've got over 400 people already signed up for that.
Okay, right on.
And I think it's like a 600 max, so don't wait too long. Or 650, something like that, max. It's on that list. But you want to be in Taboga. Now, we've got we've got some pool with Captain Andrew F. Tomaitis, who has multiple boats that can take you out there. So maybe we can set you guys up with and get you guys out to Taboga on Sunday. That's what we have on the Zonian social calendar and announcements. Truly, it's the Zonian time coming up here in January.
Let me tell you what, and that reunion, guys, they've sold out a bunch of that stuff. Remember, this reunion, unlike the reunion in Orlando, this one is more about activities and experiences, right?
Correct.
You don't spend as much time in the hotel. You're actually out doing things, going all the way out to Cologne on the train. You're going, to Taboga Island. There's just all kinds of great stuff to do out there. But most of it is limited on space, and actually most of it's sold out. Most of it's sold out right away, which kudos to these guys for, being able to get that big of a draw, and it's amazing how much this has grown. So I'm excited to see what we're doing.
You don't have to do the events because you could. Though there's not much going on at the hotels, there is going to be vendors, and I think some like last year. Didn't they have guys go up there and did speeches and
and keep in mind you're going back to the zone. You're going back to Balboa to where many of you grew up at. So if a group of you wants to jump in an Uber and go check out the admin building and
Balboa High
Stevens
School.
Circle, Balboa High School, whatever. The high school, they'll keep that in mind. Although they've done tours of the high school, but I think you have to have permission ahead of time. You can't just walk up there and just knock on a door and walk around.
Right. It's not difficult, but I think you do have to call in. We'll get Alex on before.
Yeah, we'll find out for sure.
And we'll ask all these questions. And you guys, if you have any questions for Alex, let us know in the comments. because we will have them on here in December. I mean, we're also trying to get Hedger.
Actually, before you guys throw anything in the comments, we'll wait till Matt and Keith get done with their hellos. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, go ahead and anything you need there. Remember, guys, canalzonereunion.com, spelled out canalzone. Reunion.com. They're also on Facebook, facebook.com/ I think it's CZ Reunion. But check them out. They also had a form out. I know that if you go onto their website, you can click onto that form, fill it out, and anytime they have any updates, they'll send you emails. I get emails every few days from them, so it's just an automated thing. It's a great way to stay on top of what's going on. They may add things, they may reduce things. Who knows what's going on, but that'll keep you in the loop. So definitely check that out. Sources and methods just got a huge saltwater croc in Tobago. Okay, right on. I saw that.
We heard about that. Yeah, we heard about that this week.
They sent police for
croc.
that, didn't they?
Yeah, they get all the way out there, and that's like a busy channel.
Yeah,
that's not like open, calm waters. Now you got ships going through there, boats, launches.
Yeah,
Jesus.
And that thing was pretty good size, man. They had that thing up on the side of the boat, man. It was damn near the length of the boat.
Yep. We had a good conversation about this on our chat group. During the Canal Zone days, which is where all these crocodiles are coming really from, is the canal area, there was a bush patrol that controlled that population.
Yes.
And kept them away. But since, the Canal Zone days are gone, the ACP, they don't do any of that. They don't do any bush patrol. That's why they've multiplied.
Well,
I don't know that's why, but that's the conversation we had, and it makes all the sense in the world.
You're right, it does. And ACP is running the canal, whereas, when they took over the canal, they really took over just the canal. They really didn't take over anything else. Whereas when the Americans ran the canal, they ran the entire canal zone, and it was all one interlinked operation. So, you had the Panama Canal Commission, you had the Panama Canal Company, whatever it ended up being. You had people doing this, and to your point there, you had that bush patrol. That was Canal Zone Police, right? And the Guardia Nacional took over, and obviously they didn't bring in bush patrol to do these kind of things. So
they're like, crocodiles, forget that.
They're like, they're like, hey, wow, papa, yo no haces esa vaina.
We gave you guys a story about a puma or a cougar or something like that popped out of in Colón.
I think it was a jaguar.
A jaguar, and nobody could catch it. And then they put out an ad for hunting it, and it was a Canal Zone kid that caught it.
Yes, that's right. That was like back in the 70s, wasn't it?
It's like back in the early 70s.
Yeah, because in fact, that's right. We showed that on one of those Spillway editions. Because he was in the Spillway pusher, yes.
Yeah, it's like a 15, 16-year-old, Eagle Scout,
That's very true.
And that's the thing about the Zonian community. Now that we mentioned Eagle Scout, and my good friend of mine, John Canzero, is an Eagle Scout. I think all his kids are Eagle Scouts too. The Boy Scouts were a big organization in the canals. A lot of us participated. Thoroughly, totally involved with the Boy Scouts. No, and that's a big tribute to our jungle training and our jungle survivor skills.
Yeah, that would be interesting to find out.
Hey, Ralphie.
New expansion locks being the French Canal. Anyone? I don't know, Ralph. Go ahead and throw it out there. I'm assuming or you're. But yeah, that would be interesting because that went right around a lot of that area there. It sure did.
I remember growing up. We always knew they were underneath the swing bridge, like one or two.
Correct.
We always knew those guys were there.
And then after you passed Fort Clayton, and you went down that hill a little bit, and there was water on the right, on the left is where you can go up to the police lodge. In that area back there, that big swamp area there, you could always see at night. You'd see the eyes.
The Jeep Club used to be up there.
Yes.
There was a couple of social clubs that
the Jeep Club was in the first right, and then after the body of water, where you had that left bend, right after that was the police lodge, because then you had that long straight that went into Pedro Miguel.
Oh, Lakeview.
Yes, Lakeview, correct. Yeah, so, gotta love. So that was interesting, but to that point earlier, they didn't, there's a lot of things that were either privatized or they went separate ways when the Canal Zone ended that didn't all come under that umbrella. And you could almost say in this case that the whole gator thing probably fell through the cracks. Nobody thought about it and said, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, because it was never an issue, but through conversations that we had on this with about 17 different Zonians.
Sure. And by the time it's become a problem, it's been years since that happened.
We figured out that it's because of the bush patrols. That's the reason why.
And to your point, that's where they were coming from, was all that new lake and swamps and everything created from the canal. So really the focus of it was in the zone where these
there was 2 former Canal Zone police in that chat group talking about this. So
and one of them even suggested, and I know my dad suggested as well, that one of them, last name Weigel, I think is. He was Bush Patrol. So I'm gonna reach out to him.
Barsness, Waggle.
Yep. Barsness, remember his son Kevin was on here talking about that. Lakeview is where they used to move the crocs to. Those lakes, yes, correct.
Yes, that is correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you don't have that regulation or that
control.
Whatever that entity is controlling anymore. Exactly, and so. That's what ends up happening. So.
Well, we wish those crocodiles a lot of good luck, and sorry we just can't interact, together. But good wishes to them, and to everybody, truly, because it was a great Thanksgiving for us. The politics were to zero. There was no politics. I couldn't believe it.
It was nice.
It was beautiful.
What's nice? I'll tell you what. It's interesting. You talk about nice situations and these holiday periods, and I've noticed this now for a couple of years. You and I belong to several WhatsApp groups, a lot of times because of the show when we're coordinating with people or groups. And the one group in particular that is always very, very attentive when it comes to U.S. holidays is the Kiwanis group. Yeah. They pop in and they initiate some, hey, happy Thanksgiving, guys, and whatever. And it's just really cool because there's that Kiwanis group. We actually have about 8 or 10 people in there. And they're actually talking about wanting to come back because after that show, several other Kiwanis had mentioned, hey, we would love to join as well. And the crux of it is about the friendships that develop, because a lot of us are friends with Kiwanis that, at that time, you're 9, 10 years old. You're taught that that's the enemy across the field, and so you don't really have ill feelings for them, but you have it's a rivalry. It's without a doubt it's an intense rivalry. But as you grow out of it and you realize, and if nothing else, you come to miss a lot of this stuff, then you realize, hey, these guys are pretty cool, and they're actually some nice guys out there. And
I mean, we're still friends with a lot of them.
Yeah, we keep in touch with them all the time, and like I said, they threw out the Happy Thanksgivings, Thursday morning, early, and it was cool. It was just a nice gesture to hear and realize that.
Yeah, I think they were like the conduit to a lot of the Canal Zone traditions that eventually became Panama's tradition.
You're right.
Halloween.
You're right.
Thanksgiving.
Because if there ever was a funnel to Canal Zone activities in Panama, it was Kiwanis football.
It was Kiwanis football. That is correct.
That's a good point. That's interesting. That's a really good point.
So that's what we want to. That's what I
want
to.
And they've embraced it. Since then they've embraced it. And look what's happened with football and just sports in general.
Look at Will and I love to talk about the girls' flag football team. They're a world ranked, top 6.
They are, man. They are beast. Yeah.
They're gonna win a gold. They're gonna win a medal in the Olympics, man. Those girls are bringing Panama. They're gonna bring Panama their first group medal. We have individual medals, but we don't have a team.
Yeah, I would certainly think so. I think they have every opportunity to win, to medal, if not win it all. They could certainly pull it off.
Well, I mean, the U.S. will probably be a tough fight. They already whoop on the Mexicans, so who's gonna beat them? The Canadians and the Japanese?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you're talking, listen, the record that they have against, I mean, it's not like Central America is a powerhouse in flag football, but when you're playing 4 opponents and you're beaten by a combined 300 or 400 to like 15 or 20.
That was 7. Only 1 touchdown.
Amongst all of them.
One. They blanked everybody but one.
So yes, U.S. is a stronger team without a doubt, but I could see Panama still winning that. When you can outscore a team that much, you've got some talent there.
Yep.
So should be interesting.
We're not going to jump ahead on birthdays, but tonight is because of our age group. If you guys remember Cheech and Chon. Well, Cheech Marin, happy birthday to you tonight. And a very, very special birthday. I got to point this out, whether we're doing birthdays or not, is to my right-hand man, Violet Sinclair. I know she watches the show every once in a while. 15 years on my side, helping me with absolutely everything, my company, my personal life, and my social life. Happy birthday, Violet.
Happy birthday,
Toast to
Violet.
you.
And also for what it's worth, we're not going to kick off a bunch of birthdays here, but Steve Tochterman, today's his birthday, so happy birthday to you.
Hey, Steve, happy birthday. Yes,
absolutely.
Steve, happy birthday.
Very good.
Very good. And
Cool.
we're itching to get back.
Yeah, no, we definitely are. But let's first and foremost, we got to always be thankful of our sponsors, right? Because they really help us, a lot with our show. And Howler Monkey Sauce has been very gracious to not only hire Canal Zone Media Group to put together some videos for them, but also sponsor our show. So for the next 6 months. And
Texit. Texit also sponsors our show through some Zonians too. Yeah, specifically absolutely.
Chris Jeffries, yeah, absolutely. He is he's a Texit
he's a
coin
big
warrior.
part of our show, and we appreciate it very, very
and in
much.
all honesty, I've done really well with Texit coin, and I'm grateful. Another thing to be thankful. Thankful that he turned me on.
I got in early, man. I do, and listen, that's not. We love. Listen, we would love to talk to you guys about crypto, but this is not a crypto show. But I'll tell you what. I've already made some good money, and I've only been in there for 3 months or something.
And it took a bit of a dip right now. And what I did with it, with what I have won, is I bought more coin.
Yeah, me too.
Because it's low right now. This is the time to get it because it's going to prop back up. They're still talking about $16 by February. So
the dip.
Still a great time to get in.
You want to buy in the dip. That's where we are now.
But nonetheless,
thank you, Texit, by far. Thank you, man. Look at the show. Look at all the stuff we got going on. Look, like that bottle. It's because of the money. The other bottle, the signs, the QR codes, the television, guys. That's all extras that we pay for. And,
well, it helps cover the cost of the show. We got the streaming service and a lot of the other things that we use. So it's always good, and of course that QR code you see on the screen there. If you feel like you want to buy us a beer, scan that.
This is a Zonian show, man. Doesn't get more Zonian than that.
Well, speaking of
Zonians, spoke of Zonians.
Speaking of Zonians, then our primary sponsor, Howler Monkey Sauce, is two Zonians, right?
Yeah.
Conan Herring and Tommy Ellis, they're up in Jacksonville, but they've had this Howler Monkey Sauce on for a while. This stuff is, I'm a big fan of it. Way before they even talked about sponsoring our show, they actually there's a show on YouTube called Hot Ones. It's a really cool show to watch if you're into hot sauce, and more so if you're into really cool conversations with celebrities and well-known people, because it's just a one-on-one show. Two people face each other. They got a row of bottles of hot sauce, and they're dabbing some hot sauce on each wings. They get progressively hotter from 1 to 10 or whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
But in between, they're just shooting the shit, kind of like what we do, just shoot the shit about the zone or whatever. But Howler Monkey Sauce was on that show for 2 seasons, so they were getting a lot of good national publicity. And they're in Publix grocery stores in the Southeast. And of course, you can always get them on Amazon as well. But they have 4 flavors. They have the original, they have the amarillo, they have the verde, and then they have the hot, which kicks it up a notch. They're all really good. They're not overpowering heat, right? They're good heat, but they're flavorful. And they're all natural.
Yeah, for commercial, they got the bite.
Yeah, make sure you shake them up well, because that stuff does settle, because again, it doesn't have those thickeners and preservatives and all that crap in it. So it's some good stuff. But anyhow, they have a program now. They're looking for the next Howler Monkey Sauce spokesperson.
Right?
And you've met Gamboa already. Gamboa
I love Gamboa.
Amarillo
Gamboa is all right,
sauce.
man. I love Gamboa.
So today we're going to meet another one. We're going to meet another Howler Monkey that's going to be looking to get this gig here. He's a little closer to home. He's actually from the Howard Air Force Base area.
The west side.
So anyway, check this out, guys.
We're still looking for our Howler Monkey Hot Sauce spokesperson. Just got an email from Panama.
You've got mail.
Hey, I'm Mac, and I grew up behind Howard Air Force Base in Panama. I can talk about hot sauce. On pizza, uy, que rico. So I just miro la camera and say, I'm Mac. I grew up in these trees next to Howard Air Force Base. Hey, are we really going to Napoli? And let me tell you, the flavors of ají chombo, garlic, and onions, They each hit you one at a time, and it's so delicious. Howler Monkey Original brings the true taste ají chuembo of Panama to your pizza game.
Do you know a howler monkey who can describe the sweet heat of our original with authentic ají chombo peppers, or the fresh punch of verde where habanero warmth meets crisp bell pepper? How about the bold tang of Amarillo, yellow Scotch bonnets blended with mustard seeds? And of course, our hot, the same great flavor as original, fired up with red habaneros for that fire. Our sauces are all natural, no preservatives, gluten-free, pure flavor and pure fire. Are you the next Howler Monkey spokesperson?
So that's Mac from Howard Air Force Base. All right. So now we got two different guys that are doing that. And that's that original is a great sauce. But like I said, I'm a big fan of the Amarillo. That one to me, Amarillo is.
Willie, how about we talk about how awesome that freaking commercial you put together? Excellent work.
Yeah,
Willie.
that's number two,
work.
man. It's a lot of fun. It's
that's the first time I've seen it. I mean, I think you did send. No, you didn't send the whole thing.
I sent you bits and pieces of it as I started throwing it together.
Putting Napoli's in there. Boom. Yeah. You nailed it on that, man. That's a Bo Jackson home run, my friend.
Yeah, it's interesting. Thank you. And it's AI is a little bit challenging. It's not always perfect, and then sometimes you got to be careful with a few things. The logo on the T-shirt, you couldn't quite see Panama beer on there, but
oh yeah, no, I saw it. It was pretty good. I'm half blind.
Right, but but otherwise, yeah, it was cool. It's a lot of fun doing those. There's a couple more monkeys out there. There's another one coming up by the name of Chame. This guy's a surfing howler monkey.
Oh, cool.
Okay, this guy's a beach bum kind of guy, but he obviously is going to be. He's looking to be the spokesperson for the. He likes the verde sauce.
Oh, you're gonna have to have some hang 10 with that guy.
Yeah, he's pretty cool, man. So we'll see what comes up there. And then, of course, our hot one, we'll see who comes up at the end there. And then we'll figure out who's going to be the spokesperson for that sauce. But like I said, guys, it's a great sauce. HowlerMonkeySauce.com. You can find them there. Go on to Amazon. Look them up there. Today is Black Friday. It's start of the holiday shopping season. Buy somebody a 4-pack of Howler Monkey sauce. It's a great gift to send to somebody. It's a Zonian gift. You're going to give some love to some Zonians and share that love and help support a business that reminds us of back home, the Howler Monkeys. I remember being over at Mary Beth Bowerman's house when they lived out in Cardenas, because they lived right on the edge of the jungle there, and they had a pool, right? Because Dad was a captain, so he had the money. But they had a little pool behind the house there, and we would go hang out there, and you'd hear the Howler Monkeys or see them sometimes in the trees back there. It was cool, man. It was neat. So good for those guys. Congrats on your success, guys. Thank you for being a great sponsor of the show.
Great sponsor of our show, yeah.
Return the love, guys, by getting yourself a bottle of that Howler Monkey sauce. It's great for the holidays, man. You wanna really up
you
the
can
level
put it
of
on
your
pizza,
food.
soups, tacos, of course, arroz con pollo or even Chinese rice, oh my,
listen, if you go down to Panama for the reunion at Magoo's, they serve it there and they sell it there as well. So
right on. Magoo's is a total Zonian spot, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're definitely gonna always stop by Magoo's and get some Zonian tacos.
Yeah, that hot sauce it is. And there's the hot sauce world. There's those hot sauces that they start calling them like nuclear and the bomb and this, that, and the other. And I guess it's for some people, but honestly, I think that's more of a almost like a pissing contest, right? You want to see how much fire you can take, but in all honesty, after a certain number of Scoville, which is the level they measure it with, dude, you can't even taste food anymore. So, I mean, what's the point, right? At that point, just take the sauce, do your thing, and walk away, right?
Well, they say it activates your taste buds. For me, it kills it.
At some point, I'm sure it does, but once when you've melted them, I don't think they're that effective anymore. But yeah, that's the same thing with anything after like a mango habanero. Anything above that to me is now the whole time I'm just thinking about I'm not even enjoying the food anymore.
Oh, those I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Well, anyways, Magoo's, they got opossum tacos, they got yeke tacos, they got some Howler Monkey tacos. Not kidding, guys.
But listen, guys, the whole commercial and all that stuff, this is what the Canal Zone Media Group does, guys. We put out some really, really good state-of-the-art content. they say that a door opens another door, right? And so I got laid off back in July, and I decided, hey, I'm not at this point. I'm not going to try and go back into corporate America and go through all this crap again, and then find out that get laid off again later on. So I said I'm going to do my own thing. I've been, working in the learning and development world for many years. And the last few years being an instructional designer and creating a lot of content. I've gotten really good at graphics work, and I've taken a lot of trainings and learned a lot of stuff there. And so, this new AI world has really opened the door to make it productive.
Yeah, for what your line of work.
It's amazing, So, but anyway, again,
Good
guys,
work,
enjoy.
man.
Thank you, Howler Monkey Sauce, and hopefully you guys will return the love for them and put some orders in for the holidays. So.
All right, well, let's get into the recap, because it was a month of like you wanted it, a month of history. We had 2 history shows for you guys this month, which, by the way, we're going to skip are we skipping the next one?
Yeah, we've got some scheduling conflicts, so we're gonna, with the holidays, things get a little crazy and whatnot. So we
did do 2, so we have a lot to go over.
Yeah, we're caught up. We're pretty good anyway to end the year. But that being said, we still, in fact, for January, Ricky and I are talking about January. There's a lot of it's like anything else, New Year's, new beginnings, this, that, and the other. And one of the things we want to do with Dave is kind of revamp his presentation. He brings a lot of knowledge, but we want to start trying to break it down into pieces that are, how would I say, more digestible, right? Because he throws a lot of information, and it's fascinating information. My dad's like, "No, leave it alone. It's great." And I was like, "Well, but it's,
Yeah, we want to do more Q&R so you guys can get more involved in what he's talking about, because you're right. It's fascinating. And by the way, and I hate to say, but if you watch the show for a second time, it's you really do.
Right. You realize a lot of things you miss out on.
And there's a lot to digest, but the second time that, since you already have a little bit digested, wow, the history,
because he is an absolute history scholar.
Unique.
Yeah,
it's just unique history, guys. You're not going to get this in books, movies,
no
classrooms.
Listen, we are so fortunate to have him, because he really does. He has a passion for the history of the canals, and obviously he's got a family connection to it that goes back to the beginnings of the canal zone. So
well, a lot of us do. But listen, let's go. Let's recap. I mean, I don't want to. If you want to do it all in order, like the first week, second week, third week, you want to do it that way?
Yeah, no, that's probably makes sense. It's just to put it in chronological order. So we'll talk a little bit about his, but real quick there, Captain Andrew's working on a new project, another museum, but a very unique museum. And I don't want to go into details because I don't know all the details, but we're actually going to have him.
One detail you can't tell is this guy here is helping with the architecture.
Yes. My partner in crime across the way here is involved in it, and we're hoping to have Andrew on maybe next week to talk a little bit about what his idea is, because Andrew doesn't mess around, right? You look at what he has with Cascadas Lodge, you look at what he has with Sea Panama. He doesn't half-ass it, right? When he does these things, he does it right. But he's recognizing that, first of all, the Pan Canal Museum collection up here in Gainesville is a very robust. They have got an amazing collection of stuff there. The Canal Zone Museum in Casco Viejo in Panama, again, a very robust operation. But there's something missing, right? There's
another one coming up. They're doing another museum.
Correct.
In the canal.
And so Andrew has a different idea, but again, he brings that connection of being a Zonian, born and bred there, and he's someone that has gone through the transition, and now still part of the canal operation, with ACP, but he's got a really, really unique perspective. And again, like I said, this guy doesn't half-ass anything. And so,
no, listen, we have a connection. The guy that built all the models for George Lucas, through Industrial Lights and Magic, he's also part of the design group. So we have a tremendous group working on this, guy. So
yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Fingers crossed. We might have a Zonian museum by Zonians,
right,
for everybody, for the world, but about the Canal Zone.
But it'll have the Zonian angle, the true Zonian angle to it, right? It'll have the true Zonian, flavor to it and all that. And again, I'm not going to speak for Andrew. We'll make sure
we'll
he
have
comes
him on
on
and he can
and
tell
he's able
everybody.
to talk about what his idea is, and we can hopefully help it gain some traction and get moving, because these things aren't cheap. And to do it right, you have to get it funded and do all that stuff. So that's exciting. And then real quick before we get into the show, Ricky, one last thing. We're the last of the videos here. We're debuting a video tonight.
Let's show that.
Mark Cicero is he has that Panama Days video, and he has a lot of other great music out there. He's really embraced. I'll tell you what he's done. He's taken advantage of the opportunity that is out in the world now to put his music out there, which didn't exist even a year, 2 years ago. Right. And so the guy's got a music writing mind. We had a great music writer just a month and a half ago in James Slater. And Mark is in that realm as well, that he has a knack for putting words onto musical sheets, I guess you can call it, or whatever you want to call that. But, especially when it comes to Panama and the nostalgia, and he captures a lot of that there. And so he's got, now that we're, we just passed Thanksgiving, we're obviously in that holiday season. Today is Black Friday. It is the official start of the Christmas season. And so, we all remember Christmas in the zone, or as Mark likes to put it, Christmas in the Isthmus. Right. And so let's check out this tune, Christmas in the Isthmus by.
Is this groundbreaking first? Are we groundbreaking?
This is the world premiere of this video.
Premiere. That's
here
why you want to
guys.
be on
Enjoy
this show.
Christmas in the Isthmus.
You get a lot of Zonian first. Right on, Willie.
Hey, Grandpa. What was Christmas like in the Canal Zone?
Christmas was just another tropical day. Never snowed, no need for a sleigh. Didn't matter this day in December. Will always be a special day to remember. Your mother decorated the tables and shelves. Outside painted plywood, Santa and elves. Every year following the holiday lore, a picture with Santa at the Balboa toy store. We celebrate this unique milestone, Christmas in the Panama Canal Zone. To all the Zonians who lived on the Isthmus, wishing Feliz Navidad and a Merry Christmas. What Santa's block party evokes was the great time for kids and the folks. When buying a tree, you had to move fast, because the best ones guaranteed wouldn't last. Can't forget the Christmas tree burn. Securing the trees was the big concern. Staying up all night, standing guard to keep other towns out of your backyard. Flames so high they lit up the night, eating marshmallows that were roasted just right. We celebrated this unique milestone, Christmas in the Panama Canal Zone. To all the Zonians who lived on the Isthmus, wishing Feliz Navidad and a Merry Christmas. Can't forget the Christmas tree burn. Securing the trees was the big concern. Staying up all night, standing guard to keep other towns out of your backyard. Your backyard.
Christmas in the Canal Zone was amazing, little buddy.
Baja Willie, that didn't touch you right where it counts. I don't know. You got something is wrong, man. That was awesome. Willie, no se oye.
Yeah, sorry, no, I muted myself earlier, but no, you're absolutely right. It's very nostalgic. I'm a huge fan of of the nostalgia and yeah, a lot of the pictures there that, you know,
Toyland,
like everything else in life, right? You start forgetting things, and to that point,
you know what?
Pat
That's
says,
your style, Willie. That's your style. It's. I know, bro. You can keep that style. You know what I mean? It's really good. It's you're establishing, you know, your music video style, and it fits perfect with Mark's music.
It does. It does. Mark's music is very descriptive, right? It's very historical. It conveys a lot of images, which makes it easy in a lot of ways because he throws a description and it's easy to throw something together for me. I don't have to interpolate, you know?
Willie, I don't know, but our age was known that if the book didn't have pictures, we're not reading that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And now with AI, you're able to sometimes create some of these images, you know, a lot of things on there. I tried to recreate Mark at the beginning and at the end there on that video. It looks like him a little bit, but it's, you know, it's funny how
a little editing still, but that's all right. Hey, first time, man, guys.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It was, you know, overall it was really good. But again, taking us back to those days, right? You know, the music and the lyrics there, you know, mentioning
the Toyland, that was awesome pictures. The commissary, awesome.
And you know, the funny thing about it is I've been working on the video for a while there, and then over the last probably week or so, and certainly the last 3 or 4 days, as Black Friday approach, you start seeing the Christmas commercials, the Thanksgiving commercials, right? And so all of a sudden I'm like, oh wait, I'm gonna do that instead. You know, I'm gonna do this instead. You know, the amount of times I've changed things, like that whole the snow globe with Gothel's.
I like that. Was cool. That was cool.
That and I actually created several more of those. I created a snow globe with Miraflores locks the building. I created one with the Bridge of the Americas.
Oh, cool.
I created one with Gatun locks and Gatun Dam.
Let's send those to Burma. Get them replicated.
Yeah, they look really cool, man. But it was just an interesting look that all of a sudden last minute I was like, okay, you know what? Let me switch this out and throw that in there as a different one. By the way, did anybody notice the grandson? What was the toy that he was holding in his arms?
No, I didn't notice that. That's a little detail. What was it?
See if anybody noticed what it was on there, and if you do, throw it in the chat and let me know if it was on both the beginning and the end. You could see it there. I may towards the end of the show throw it back up, just that one piece just to show it. But yeah, it was, and that one I was pleasantly surprised that it came out that way because I've been trying to recreate this for a long time. Thank you guys, appreciate that. And this one actually came out. I was very pleasantly surprised that it generated the image the way I envisioned it because AI is not perfect. It's damn close to to doing a lot of those things, but every so often it still will throw something at you, throw a curveball at you, and you're like, whoa, what the heck is that? So, but anyhow, cool. So, congrats, Mark. That was a really cool song, a great tune.
Excellent.
We'll hear it more often. On as we go through the holiday season, so definitely stay tuned for that. But thanks again, Mark, for that opportunity. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I know he's probably on his flight right now, or he's fighting with
customs. No,
TSA.
he's not going through customs. He's
TSA. He's fighting with TSA because I need my phone. The video's playing, and they're giving him a hard time. He's got to take his shoes off. You don't have to take your shoes off anymore, by the way.
No more shoes. Yeah. So,
anyhow. All right, cool. Well, let's go ahead and do what we normally do on our last show of the month now, which is recap what we had during this month, right? This month we had 2 Dave Dahlstrom history shows, so we're going to focus some on that. And then in between those, we squeezed in another appearance, which was a very impromptu appearance on the show. So, Ricky, go ahead and kick that one off, man, because you were, in all honesty, I was working on a video.
Really,
you were
doing
doing
the first one, so we're going to have to start from the third one. The third
Why
week.
not? We're unorthodox here. What the
hell?
We're
unorthodox. Well, you guys have just a recap on the historical part. David one of the things I love about David is when he does his research, guys, and the story he tells us, it's always the stuff that's happening on the perimeter of the main story.
Right.
And what he brought us this month was who the other players were involved when the Panama Canal treaties were being negotiated. I thought that was an incredible story, you know, because we always know about Bonavaria and and from the book, right? We don't know. For example, we learned about the Weiss Treaty. Weiss was the first guy that did the treaty between Colombia and the United States. And it's the same numbers, 10 million, 250,000, but we learned about him. He was the first one in 1878 that started negotiating those treaties, because he was working for the French. And we also learned about Dingler. Dingler was like the Goethals of the French company, the engineer involved. Now, one of the important things that we also learned from him, Willie, was had they done that sea level canal, there would have never been Balboa, Cristobal, Howard. There would have never been none of that. It would have just been a ditch like the Suez Canal.
Remember he mentioned this about a year ago that they were talking also about a dam between Ancon and Sosa Hill.
Correct. So
what a change in the landscape.
You're a good man, but I'm glad Goethals came in and changed the design. It wasn't Goethals that changed the design, but he's the one that finished the project. Yes. And then we also learned about some lawyers that were involved with getting all the groups together. Placas, not Placas. Who were the lawyers? Oh, John Bigelow and Pavey. And these were the guys that were working under the table, so to speak, and getting all the like Pavey was pulling for like Nicaragua, Bigelow was pulling for
you guys
Panama.
are all behind the scenes doing their thing.
Yeah, and they were also considering just taking Panama, but they made the right decision. If they had taken Panama, they would have all and you brought it up on the show, Willie. They would have always had an adversary right there causing problems.
100%.
So it was the right decision not to take it for them like they took Hawaii. I mean, everybody was taking at that time. That was colonial at his peak.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting about that? And Ricky and I have been talking about doing, and just him and I just doing some research on our own, just out of personal curiosity. You know, in 1903. You couldn't jump on a plane and in 2 hours you're in Washington, right? Things take time. To get from here to Washington, most of the time went via New York anyway, because Washington wasn't like a big port where you had shipping coming in and out, right? So you had to get to New York and from there work your way down through railroad or whatever. And so it took several days of planning and whatnot. And again, to the same point, while there was a telegraph, because we saw that the president, blew up the dam with push of a button in Washington. But it wasn't like you could just pick up the phone and have a secure phone line either and start talking to somebody in Washington or wherever. So, the things that happened behind the scenes that led up to suddenly the United States going, hey, this is the route we're going to take. Mm-hmm. That's the piece that Ricky and I are trying to figure out is when that dialogue took place, who was usually things like that. They start with an intermediary, and as we've learned that these guys were being watched by the Colombian government. So they weren't exactly just running around going to the airport and going, hey, I'm going to Washington. Right. So it's just, we're going to try and figure that out. And Dave certainly is going to help us with that as well. And who knows, maybe HB2E can help us as well. But
yes, and we're going to have them this month.
Connection is. Yeah.
So Bigelow was one of those. Pavey was one of those. So we learned a lot about, that's what he does. He brings in these characters, the other players that we just don't know about, So we're, and then he also talked a lot about Felipe Bonavaria, because that guy truly was the man who invented Panama, because it was he was the one, moving all the strings, manipulating everybody, and
we as Zonians especially owe him a debt of gratitude. We don't have the Canal Zone,
both
the one that we thought.
And the Panamanians.
Yeah.
Because, Bonavaria could have, remember, there was also the Russian option. The Russians were that close to bite it.
Sure. And remember, Germany was already playing in Mexico, and so they wanted a piece of that as well.
And the Germans. So Bonavaria, he had many ways to go. There was a lot going on. And then perfect.
I think he
all the
realized
ducks
at
lined
the
up.
end of the day, he knew where the real cash was that was going to take to do this, and he realized, you know what? Let me hitch my horses to that wagon.
Yeah, and smart thing was he not only brought the U.S. government, but he also brought Wall Street. Because like we always say on the show, and you always mention it, Willie, the train was the most profitable business.
The most
of the
expensive
time.
and most valuable company in the world
most valuable company
was
in
the
world at
Panama
the time.
Railroad.
At the time.
100%.
So
That was, if you owned stock in the Panama Railroad, you had money.
So Wall Street was like, we're not losing that. Let's put it together. So Panama,
and remember, governments weren't in the business of printing money as they do nowadays. You didn't have, the income tax like you have now. So there wasn't a unlimited source of revenue in the government coffers. And so a lot of these deals, before governments got involved, they had to make sure financing was in place. Which is why, like Ricky says, they had to go to New York first. You go to Wall Street and get your money lined up. Now you go talk to government officials and make things happen.
Now, David also brought a good point. David also brought, to add to that point on the last show, was he showed us before 1903, Panama had $1 called the Panama peso.
Yeah,
and that's what
right.
the guy on it, Placas, was the man on it. We haven't done our research on who he is, but it was his face, Placas.
That was one of their only truly independent currencies.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Panama
Colombian,
peso,
it wasn't American.
And it was like a $1 bill and a $5 bill that he showed us. And Willie, remember who printed that money? Wall Street.
Yes, New York.
So Wall Street, Bonavaria, we owe them a lot of thank yous.
There was people. Listen, they had people in their Rolodex on both ends of that of that transmission for sure. When Amador was getting ready to head to New York, he already had made his contacts, and it's the way of the world, man. You don't just make contacts with strangers like that and start negotiating. You got to know people, and somebody knows somebody else that opens a door for you. Mm-hmm. Especially Panama being a nobody, right? And you're treading in some funky waters there because this is part of Colombia, and United States is trying really hard not to be that colonial empire that's trying to take over Latin America.
Yeah, they behave so well. I mean,
yeah. So
that's what I always try to promote on this show is there. No relationship is perfect, but truly the respect that Panama has gotten from the U.S. government since 1898 till today has always been consistent, positive.
Yeah, there's been some hiccups here and there, of course, but you're right.
Yeah, like any other relationship, man. So I always defend that position, whenever I have an opportunity. We also had Vern on, guys, and Vern, one of the things about our show, guys, that we want to do is introduce the Zonian world, especially the Pacific siders. With the Atlantic side, also known as the Gold Coast. We want to learn more because truly Panama started from the Gold Coast. Yeah. Everything. I mean, the first settlements, even the Scottish settled there.
Darien, right? You remember back in the day, that area in Panama City that we always knew as Caledonia. Never associated that to where that name came from. Caledonia is a Scottish name; it's a Scottish term, and
the
that
Romans
was the first,
gave them that name.
But it's associated with Scotland, right?
Yeah.
And the first attempt at a Scottish colony, which ended up bankrupting Scotland because it truly took up almost half of the money they had in the country invested into it, was in the Darien province, which was that New Caledonia colony, which ended up ultimately failing, of course, but.
So we learned a lot through Vern, all these areas. One of the things I really liked was when we talked about the social scene, and we learned about the Washington Hotel. Now we know Cristobal High School had other proms, homecoming events there, so that was cool to know. We learned about New Cristobal, Isla Margarita, and Fort Randolph.
Yeah,
I never even heard of Fort Randolph, and that's where the new ports are going to go. And we also saw, which was, I love this part, the original Cristobal High School and the bell tower. How in Balboa High School, we had the head, right? That was the big thing for us. Well, Cristobal had the bell tower, and we found out where it came from. He showed us. And then, of course, we also saw on the SAG side how New Panama and the new, logistical hub that it's becoming, how we're losing towns. And Coco Solo was one of those. Cristobal High School was one of those.
And speaking of losing stuff, I just saw this the other day. Jim Nom, he's down in Panama in the zone, posted how they're putting up these containers and some other stuff along the yacht club, and apparently they're getting rid of that whole pier and the floating dock of the yacht club, is my understanding. And
they're going to get rid of the iconic pier?
The one has been there forever. It's my understanding. I'll double check that, but he posted that the other day, and I did see where they had some stuff already starting to tear some of that down already. So it does appear that is going to be the case. That it's the canal zone was built to operate a canal, nothing more. Anything outside of that was support services for the canal operation, including families and, of course, leisure activities and everything else supporting the families. Panama took this over, and they saw the canal zone as a commercial opportunity, commercial entity, and it's not right or wrong. They viewed it as that, and they're looking at it as an opportunity to better their country and provide income to their country. So they're taking areas that we had as areas to hang out and go fishing and go riding and go doing this and go and do that, and they're looking and going, hey, this is a parking lot for container ships. This is a place for this. So it's progress. It's it's like old Panama. That's what we're going to be. Is old canal zone is they'll be ruined someday. That'll be left around, but
it is what it is. Partially gone. So it's still progress.
It's part of life, man.
Based on the stuff that we've been talking about, I think that the east side of the canal has been built up. I mean, after they're going to do the Corozal, they're going to do the Corozal port, but the rest of the development's all on the other side, from highways to ports. To the big train that's going all the way out to Costa Rica.
Yeah, because once you get past Corozal, you're at that point you're approaching Miraflores. There's no more room after that.
Yeah,
after that you have the Culebra Cut, the Gaylord Cut, so there's no ports in there. And then you have the lake, so there's nothing there. That's it on the east bank. It's there's no more property.
There's nothing left, right? So everything is happening on the other. That's why they're building new highways out there.
Yes.
And then, like the new train that they're building to Costa Rica, that train is not really for tourism. That train is to move all the agricultural stuff that Panama's
it's like the Panama Railroad is now as well. It's not made to move passengers.
That's all that stuff is on that side. Howard's on that side. Rodman, everything new is coming on that side, guys.
Yeah, so eventually even Mac the Howler Monkey was going to have to move out of that area. So it's good that he got himself a gig with Howler Monkey Sauce now, because they're going to clear him out of that area.
What was his name? What was his name?
Mac.
Oh, got you. For like the
Military
Mac,
Airlift
the Mac
Command,
flights.
right?
Yeah, like the Mac flights.
There you go. That's it.
So Vern, thank you, Vern. You're always invited.
Hey, speaking of Vern messaged me the other day. He's been chatting with a gentleman named Dale Adams.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to have him join us on the show. Dale Adams served on the SS Sturgis.
Oh, the nuclear.
Yes, the nuclear-powered ship. He was on that ship from 1976 to 78. He was an MP on there. So I'd love to have him on and maybe have my dad join as well, because my dad trained with the Canal Zone Police to guard that ship, because it was a nuclear reactor that was providing, backup power for the canal and stuff. So that's going to be fascinating to have him on. Thank you for that, Vern. I'm excited.
They guarded so well. We didn't even know it existed.
Right. I had no clue until we started this show that we had a nuclear reactor right on our back door.
Who taught us that? Was it Dave? More than likely Dave.
I have to assume it was Dave. It was one of those history shows.
Yeah.
And he brought that up. He goes, did you guys know? And really you can see until certainly later years in the canal zone, where, the layout of Gatun Dam, if you're facing the dam from Gatun Lake and facing where it dumps out to the Atlantic, to your right-hand side is the Gatun locks, the old locks, right? And then on the other side of that is the new ones. But anyway, so there's a strip of land right there. It's maybe a half a mile long. And it's just grass and all that area. That's where that thing was parked. But you could see where it had the connection and the electric, the power poles running to the generators at the Gatun Dam. And so it would plug in there, and from there, obviously, there you already have power going out from that generating station to begin with. It would just plug into that one, and that's how it was providing that additional power than for the zone or whatever it was doing. But this was a nuclear powered ship. It wasn't a nuclear powered ship. It was a ship that had a nuclear reactor on it as a power plant, not to power the ship, to provide power for land facilities. Yeah, and it was there for a couple of years. It wasn't just there like for a little while, for a couple months doing some stuff and then left. It was there.
It was due to a dry rainy season.
Well, they were concerned. That was one of the concerns, is that they had a couple of those spells where you'd had some dry seasons. And remember, a lot of their power was generated from the hydroelectric. Yeah. And if it runs too low, you've got a conundrum there, right? Because if you run too low, you can't run ships. If you can't run ships, well, what's the point? Right? But if you don't run it, then you can't generate electricity, and now you can't run ships anyway because everything's electric. Right? The whole canal was operated on electric. So you had to have a power source.
So, guys, what a month. Truly. History and Atlantic side. I really enjoyed it, man. Next month, Willie and I are working to bring in Henter. What's his first name, Willie?
Who's that?
Henter. Or is he the one that rescheduled?
He's rescheduled. Yeah, I think we're gonna try and get him for December. If not, definitely next month. Ted
Henter. He's got a great Zonian story. Renowned. He's a renowned human being.
Yes, he is. Yeah, and somebody's got a great life story. I mean, just a real
unbelievable life story.
Yeah, very.
I don't know him, but my whole life I've heard of him.
Yeah.
And oh God, I'm just so looking forward, like James Slater, like meeting these guys, man. So on.
And that's another one I'm working on, is a video for James Slater for that Guayabera song. That should be a lot of fun. I've been able to do some really cool things with
Memphis.
I put James in a Guayabera in his Viva Band days. Go figure that one out. So it's gonna be fun. I'm excited for that one. Speaking of other projects and things that we have in the works. As we come into the dry season, one of the other ones that Ricky and I want to do, and we've been talking about this for a little over a year now, is a Panama surfing show. There's a lot of legends of this Panama surf. And Ricky, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't the surfing season typically the dry season?
I wasn't a surfer, man. I'm a victim of Jaws, man. No, so I would just
I did a little bit of surfing.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'll stay on the sand. I'll let you know.
I did a little, not much. Victor Payne and I did a little bit of surfing, and he helped me out. In fact, at one point, him and I were gonna start building surfboards. Go figure that one out. But I'm like you, man. I'm nowadays, forget about it, man. I don't even want to.
I never surfed. I think Jerry and I tried it once in Palmar, and it was just too tiring.
But there's a group on Facebook called Canal or Zonian Surf Dogs, I believe.
Yeah, no. There's a lot of guys out there, and believe it or not, Panamanian campesinos were surfing before we were.
Yes,
I heard that. I thought we brought surfing to Panama. They were already surfing.
There's some areas there, but there are some other places that Zonians that some of us know that discovered these places that now many of us later on took for granted, and these places were unique and brand new to these guys. So if you're out there and you're part of this group, or you know some of these guys that are part of that OG surfing group, put the word out, because
O'Brien would be a perfect person.
An iconic surfing name, and if you were into surfing, you knew that name in the zone. And there was a lot of Panamanians that in certainly my age group in the 70s and 80s,
my age
that
too,
were doing a lot of surfing as well. So, but that's going to be a fun show. That'll take a little bit of work to do. So if you know somebody, put the word out. Let them know that we're trying to put that one together and get us on there. We definitely want to do a Cayuco race show this year. I need a crew. If you guys are out there and you have a crew that you paddled with, that the four of you want to come on to the show, we'd love to have you on and tell your Cayuco race story, from your practices to your race, everything about that. I think it'd be a lot of fun to have that there. Hey, Juan, good to see you, man.
Tierra Salta, that's beautiful up there, guys. That's Boquete, Cerro Punta, Volcan.
Yeah. Don't forget, guys, if you're going to the Canal Zone reunion or any other time that you go down to Panama, Juan Thompson will be more than happy to be a tour guide for you. He's done that for quite a while. He knows the place like the back of his hand. Good guy, good Zonian, class of 87.
He grew up in my neighborhood, man. He was one of the younger kids in my neighborhood. So I taught him. I don't know if I taught him, but he definitely hung out with us when we went to the jungle.
Do you know what Juan Thompson was known for as a kid? what he was really, really good at as a kid?
I know. My age group toughened him up. That's why he whooped on you guys all day long.
No. There was one thing. There was one activity he was really, really, really
well, he was good at football. Kick the can, smear the
I'm not
queer.
talking about all that stuff. No, this is like one of these where you show it where everybody knows. Oh, that's the man right there, except Ricky apparently. But
all right,
Juan Thompson used to be able to take his bike on the track at Balboa Stadium and to ride a wheelie. And he could do the whole lap on a wheelie. He would not put the bike down.
I grew up with Dave Millard. Sorry. Dave Millard was the king of King Willie. That guy would Willie from Ancon.
I did
all
hear
the way
that.
to Balboa.
I did hear that. Juan Thompson was up there too, though, man. He was.
All right, Juan's cool.
Yeah.
Like I say,
different era. Different era.
Yeah, different era.
Joe Montana, Tom Brady, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
well, good to have you on the show, Juan.
Hit him up, guys. If you're going to Panama, he's more than happy to take you on. Listen, he did it. He said he had a 60-day tour or something, or 17-day tour, 60,000 kilometers. He took somebody all around all of Panama, basically, and showed him around. So good guy to do it with, somebody you can trust and you know.
Another announcement we forgot is Jerry Curtis's Ocean to Ocean. It's coming up. Right at the same time as the reunion.
Yeah, like a week after, if I'm not mistaken, or something.
No, I think it's the same exact time.
It is?
We should have him on to talk about what is happening this year.
Yeah, that's a really big deal. That's one of those that's on Ricky and my bucket list to do. They have an ocean, obviously we associate Ocean to Ocean with the Cayuga race, and we were just mentioning, but what Jerry Curtis does, obviously, if you know Jerry Curtis is synonymous with motorcycles. And Jerry Curtis is a motocross champion to this day. I mean, when it comes to motocross riding, the guy is ageless. I mean, he doesn't stop winning even at his age, right? But he started a business with some partners down in Panama, and they do a lot of motorcycle and motocross tours. But their signature event, I guess you can call it, right? Their foundational event is that ocean to ocean race or regatta, or whatever you want to call it. And they actually start on the Atlantic side. But like Ricky was just saying, on the East Bank, you're not going to run the Trans-Isthmian Highway, go down the highway here. This is motocross, guys. They're going to go up over the mountain ranges and come down through the valleys and all that area. They do it in the dry season, of course, so you can actually have a chance of doing it, because I don't care how good you are. In the rainy season in Panama and those jungles, you're not getting through that stuff. But
well, they have all the different levels, from experts through those difficult things you're talking about to our level, which mostly gravel roads. But yes, it's for
they
all
do. They even have
levels.
like those 4-wheelers and the 2 or 4 person vehicles.
And they rent
vehicles,
all the equipment,
everything,
all the bikes, everything.
You don't need anything but your passport and money.
That's it. You can bring your stuff if you want, your helmet, your boots, but you don't even have to do that.
Yeah,
it's like going skiing. All of it. You get all your equipment at the ski lodge.
Correct. But it really is a unique way for you to go from the Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean and do it in a way, when you go, here's something that you certainly wouldn't have ever done, in a Cayuga race or anything like that. But at one point during the race, when you go over that mountain range, you're able to see the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, and you realize that you're really on top of the world there on your motorcycle. And
when you're on the divide. Right. The only place in the world you really can do that is Panama. Like Volcan Baru, up in the volcan. That's like the only place in the world you can look one way
on the
Continental
Divide,
look the other way, the other ocean.
Yes, indeed. So, but we'll definitely have Jerry on. If not, though, check them out. Ocean to Ocean. Look him up, Jerry Curtis. You can obviously find him on Facebook and everything else. But that's an exciting event, man. It's really grown. They get a lot of big time motocross celebrities that do it and report on it.
Yeah, Jerry brings them all because Jerry is a celebrity motocross.
Well, Jerry is a who's who when it comes to motocross. Yeah. He really is, right?
Yeah,
remember recently
he was in the United States.
Yes, he was in Europe, guys. He was in Poland. He wasn't there to race this time. He was there to observe. Because he's going to be part of that Team USA now that does these enduro off-road motocross races. But they're like these national races. He's part of a team, that Team USA against other countries. And so he went to Poland to just observe how they did it and learn all the works and stuff.
He's like the top 6 riders in the nation.
Yes, absolutely. Team. And you're talking, it's not like a top 6 in like senior category, just top 6 period.
No. It's by category. It's by category.
Oh, it
is by category. It is by category, yes.
Because Jerry, even in that, I mean, Jerry at his age, he's still racing in open races and still beating people. All right, it's not like he's just racing in the senior circuit. The guy's just a
Baja
freaking
500
motocross machine, right? So, but
yeah.
I think next year they said it's going to be in Germany, and that one he's ready for. And
Poland, Germany.
Well, they did this one in Poland. I think next year's in Germany is what he was saying.
Oh, I got you. I got you. I thought it was like multiple races. Bueno, Willie.
So
great show.
But yeah,
1 hour, 15 minutes.
Yeah, not bad at all. Let me just double check anything else on here at night when Section 9 and Balboa Pier Road was open. One time talking about the
Willie, but you're not gonna beat Dave Millard, boy. There's just no way. Sorry, man. Sorry. And there's a lot of people that will argue that on my side.
Yeah. Look at Matt. Don't forget the Klingen's two-stroke. Yes. Listen, Gary Klingen was a great rider, man.
Was it a Mugen or something like that? Yeah, he had that.
Mugen.
The Mugen engines.
Yes. And Gary was sponsored by Honda for many years, and he had
He was Jerry's. Him and Jerry would battle out. But Jerry had Jerry was a champion. So
Jerry started when he was a very, very young kid, and he made a great point when he was on here one time several months ago that he went to, I guess, the Atlantic side. They used to do the flat track racing over there.
Yeah.
And somebody saw him as a young kid and talked to him and talked to his dad and said, let me take this guy under my wing and show him how to do this flat track. Mm-hmm. And when he learned that he said is what has him helping him win these races, because where he completely dominates all the competition is in the turns. And he knows when to accelerate. He's got that feel for that bike that he knows when he's losing grip, just accelerate enough, but that he beats everybody. In other words, he's going even with somebody into a turn, and when they come out of the turn, he's way ahead. And he says he attributes that to his flat track, lessons that taught him,
we would have to hold the bike because his feet wouldn't touch the ground. So all of us had to hold on the bike, and then he would take off when we go.
He said he used to follow his dad when his dad would go on the off-roading, and he'd follow him in those big trenches.
They all did the forward.
So he'd learn. I mean, this guy, Jerry, can feel a motorcycle, in his sleep. He could know what a bike's doing. And so anyway, good for him. Congrats, Jerry, on that. I'm excited for you. And we got to get you on the show, man, for sure, and talk about this race coming up here. So, but nonetheless, guys, yes, as Ricky said, we've been a good show, a lot of good stuff out there to chit chat about.
I'm looking at my notes.
That's exactly what that was, man. That was cool. The motocross is kind of cool. It is gone now, of course, because Miraflores Locks is now a little island, or the Miraflores racetrack is a little island now, and on the other side is the big, massive, the giant locks there. So,
but Panama's got to have some incredible tracks nowadays. I don't know much about it. We need to bring when Jerry comes back, maybe he can tell us what the new tracks are like.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But anyhow, nonetheless, let me get some other stuff here going. Don't forget, guys, next week. Hold on, something just happened here. I don't know what's going on here. Next week, again, the beginning of the month, but we're not gonna we're gonna change a little things because again we've got some schedule issues and stuff. But we are definitely gonna look at January for a kind of a new version of our history. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of cool new things, a lot of other things that we're gonna change up and do a couple other things here that we're excited about. But nonetheless, next week we also are going to work a little bit on the Canal Zone Dictionary. We should have that. We were supposed to do that a couple of weeks ago.
Next week, we're doing that next week. Canal Zone Dictionary. Hopefully we can get Henry on because it's fun when we have Henry on.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a lot of fun. Let me see here.
Dictionary. That's my favorite. My favorite show is that one, Dictionary.
Yeah, no, it is. They're all good shows. Let me see here. No, I think that's good. But anyhow, guys, listen, it's been a fun show. Again, everybody, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thank you so much. Don't forget canalzonereunion.com. Go check them out. Get signed up. If there's anything that you're thinking about doing at this reunion, get signed up because they are running out of spaces on those. Make sure you check them out there. But otherwise, guys, have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy it. Don't spend too much money on Black Friday. Don't forget Cyber Monday. Oh, by the way, next week, another thing we are going to cover. I forgot to mention this. Next Friday at 12 noon is the World Cup draw. This is where they're going to select where every team is going. There are still a couple of teams that haven't been selected yet, but their spots will be held. You'll know that somebody's going to fill that spot. But most importantly, we will know where Panama is going to go. They're based on the rules with the way these groups are set up now. We know that they can't play Mexico, United States, or Canada. So therefore, it kind of eliminates some of the groups that they can play in. But we're going to find out where they're playing, and we do have a Facebook group, guys. Don't forget that we do have a Facebook group called Zonians Going to the World Cup. Okay, it's facebook.com/CZ World Cup. Listen, as Zonians, we're blessed, man, because we were born with 2 teams. Right? We've got the American team as Zonians, and we got the Panamanian team as Zonians. So we got 2 teams going to the World Cup. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully, we can get a big group of Zonians to go and get, tickets are expensive, but it's kind of like a Super Bowl. Show up for the event anyway. Go to wherever the town is, and there's going to be a big crowd of Panamanian fans and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm really excited about it, but we're going to talk about it next Friday. We will know where they're going to be at. Get an idea of what we can plan on as far as getting out there. It is at the interesting thing about it, for what it's worth, it starts in June, the second week in June, and if Panama plays well and is fortunate enough to go through to the elimination rounds, it goes all the way through the 4th of July weekend. I don't think Panama will go that far. I mean, it would be fantastic, but the reality is I don't think they'll get that far.
Well, if we get Candir on our team, we never know. We can make it to the finals.
You see that video I sent you today?
To the next round.
Yeah. That guy is a beast, man.
Candir. He's the new Pelé.
Kandir. Follow this guy. Look him up, man. He is just a
fire.
Beast. And he's Panamanian. I mean, he's Panamanian, he is an absolute beast in Brazil.
I mean, he's such a beast that the Brazilians want to naturalize him without, just give him the papers.
Correct. To give him eligibility to play for them.
And
you're talking about a country that produces the best soccer players in the world. And if they want him there, that means that this guy's
bad.
Yeah,
18.
He's. Come on, man. Are you kidding me? So
he's our guy. He already said he's playing for us, so we got Candir.
And it's gonna be exciting. We'll know again more next week. We are gonna try and launch. I'm gonna try and launch a World Cup Panama podcast, separate from the whole Canal Zone thing. But there's when you talk about sports, I absolutely live and breathe soccer. I watch soccer religiously every single day, just about. And there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on with Panama, with where they're at. Panama's actually looking good, right? The latest FIFA rankings, they're ranked 30th in the world, not just in the World Cup group. They're ranked 30th in the world. So they took and they put it into 4 pots, 1 through 4. Okay, 1 being your best teams in the world. Okay, they're trying to seed them. It's kind of doing if you think of, for example, like what you see in March Madness with basketball, right? You got a 1 seed, you got a 16 seed, 2 seed, 15, etc. And they're trying to group it that way so that each group will have a team from pot A, what you call it, which is the top teams, like the Germanys, the Englands, France, Spains, those kind of teams. Then you have your second tier teams, right? Your Mexicos, your Portugals, Croatia, those kind of teams.
Japan.
Really good teams, but they're the teams that sometimes do well but need some help.
Cameroon.
But they're good quality teams, exactly. Then you have your third tier teams. These are your teams that are considered great teams. They're just not at that high level, but they're a good performing team. And then, of course, your 4th level teams. With the new format now, they've gone from 36 teams to 48 teams. So they've added 1 extra team basically to each team, because they got 12 groups and they've added 12 new teams, right? So that 4th tier is, again, those teams that struggle to get into the World Cup.
But wait, let's be clear. Panama's tier 3, not 4.
Correct.
We're 3.
They're tier 3. In other words, they're considered a team that is legit. And in several simulations that I've seen run out there, they have Panama going through to the knockout stages. Now, they don't get out of that first round of knockout stages, but still, it's a huge accomplishment.
Yes, Panama's all over the news. We're the darlings of the world right now. That's just the way it is.
It is. So it's going to be exciting, guys. We're going to have a lot of coverage starting next week with that, so stay tuned, but really excited for that. Anyhow, that's it, guys. I don't know what happened to my exit video. It got kind of
lost in
deleted here somehow. It got lost in the shuffle there. So we're just going to go ahead and say to you guys, thank you again for joining us. We love having you guys on here. And as I always say, waiting for that Chiva to go by there. But Ricky, get us out of here, man.
Hey guys, like always, I always say thank you. I mean, I always feel great doing this show because of you guys, and we appreciate all the comments, we appreciate all the participation, and everybody that watches the show afterwards. Thank you very much. It is our 108th show, and we definitely have 108 more to go without a problem.
Nice.
Plenty to talk about.
Right on.
We'll see you
listen,
guys
go eat your
next week.
enjoy your Thanksgiving leftovers.
Yeah.
Don't eat it past Sunday, then just throw that shit away, man, and move on. But anyhow, thanks again, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we will see you guys next week. Take care, everybody. See you guys. All right.